When you first start getting into the world of personal finance, you will find that there are tens of thousands of personal finance books. If you're new to the space, this is definitely intimidating, but not to fear. Today, I'm cutting through the clutter and I'm sharing the only 3 money books you will ever need, with honorable mentions, of course. Hello and welcome to Epic Finance, home of the best personal finance and investing strategies on the internet. I am your host, Dustin. Let's get started. I thought it would be fun to choose one book from what I think are 3 essential categories in the personal finance space. These categories are money mindset, money management, and investing. I'm also adding a 4th category in here just because it features one of my favorite books of all time. So stick around for that. Category 1, money mindset. These books will change the way you think about and approach money in general. I have 2 honorable mentions for this category. The first of which is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Morgan emphasizes the importance of understanding why our human behavior is sometimes emotional and irrational when it comes to thinking about money, and how winning with money is more than just crunching numbers. It's about how we act more than anything else. And there are 19 stories in here he uses to illustrate that point. Fantastic read. Next up, Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. Man, I can talk for hours about this book. The authors show why it's important to acknowledge the full range of costs associated with employment, which is usually overlooked, and then use that to help determine your actual wage. Here's a quick example. Imagine you have a job that pays $15 an hour and you work 8 hours per day. At face value, you're gonna expect to earn, say, $120 per day, but now let's assume a 25% tax rate. This is gonna lower your daily pay down to $90. And let's say it takes about $15 in gas daily to get back and forth to work. And so now that $90 drops to $75. Let's subtract another $10 for lunch. This now has us making $65 for our 8 hours of work. But wait, it's a 30-minute commute to work and back each way. So now we're looking at 9 hours of our day committed to work and only getting paid for 8. And so based on these factors, that 9 hours of commitment is gonna get us an actual true hourly wage of about $7.22 per hour. This isn't even taking into account things like parking costs or any special clothes we have to wear to work, the wear and tear on your vehicle, the mental and physical wear on your body, and the list goes on and on. All of which are depreciating against that $7.22 per hour. Hence, your money or your life. So the key insight here is having a clearer picture of what you truly earn per hour and how that can be a powerful tool in your career and in your financial decision making. And now, drum roll please, coming in at 292 pages with 30 million copies sold worldwide. It is the #1 best-selling personal finance book of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Are you really surprised? This book rightfully holds the top spot in the money mindset category. This is the book that introduced me into the world of assets. With your money, buy or build things that make you money. Now you're making money from your paycheck and from your asset. And if you keep buying and building assets, then eventually the money you make from your assets will eventually replace how much money you're making from your paycheck. This book was the primary inspiration for me buying my very first rental property. Caveat, this does not apply to other books in the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. There are 3 or 4 that round out the series of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then there's Rich Dad Advisors. There are many books there. I've read 3 or 4 of them. They're all kind of mediocre at best, in my opinion. But this first one was a real banger. Category 2, money management. These focus on getting out of debt, living on less than you make, budgeting, saving, making wise decisions with your investments. The honorable mention in this category is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. This book is a novel. It's the only novel I will mention today. It is an absolute classic in the personal finance space. It is rich with information. It is short. It's fun to read. It's chock full of financial principles. But because of its story form, I have a hard time recommending it as my #1 pick, which is The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. This book really stands out because of how simple and concise its plan is. This is the book for you if your finances look bleak and scary. I've not known anyone to read this book and not be compelled to implement the plan. This plan can be implemented if you make minimum wage or if you make millions of dollars per year. Doesn't matter. It's a solid plan. Dave is very conservative. He stands in the arena alone with some of his methods like no debt whatsoever, no credit cards whatsoever, even if you pay them off every month. But the bottom line for me here is, if a person follows and sticks to the plan as outlined in the book, they have no choice but to be in a better financial situation almost immediately. But for sure, within a year or two, they will be miles ahead of where they are now.
If you're finding this video helpful, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. If I reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, I will send one of my first 1,000 subscribers a $250 Amazon gift card. Thank you. I appreciate your support.
All right, category 3, investing. Personally, this is my favorite category. A couple of contenders in this space for me are, firstly, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. This was Warren Buffett's mentor. Peter Lynch, One Up on Wall Street. The Little Book That Still Beats the Market by Joel Greenblatt. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John C. Bogle, founder of Vanguard and the Index Fund. And Unshakable by Tony Robbins, which I do not have with me here today. But the win goes to The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. This book was initially written by J.L. Collins as a series of letters to his daughter because she wasn't interested in investing. But man, he builds a strong case for investing money in the stock market, and the easiest and simplest way to do that is easy to understand, it's easy to implement, and simple does not mean worse. Just because it's a simple path to wealth, the processes he goes through in the book will show you that you will outperform most people who are actively trying to beat the market. J.L. Collins builds a powerful case for the stock market, and he does it with simple examples that have stood the test of time. I think if you read it, it will give you confidence to invest in the market if you are not already. Okay, bonus category, lifestyle design. These books challenge conventional wealth building and are super inspirational. Honorable mentions in this category are The Millionaire Fast Lane by M.J. DeMarco. Ali Abdaal did a fantastic overview of this book. I recommend you watching Ali Abdaal's video. Set for Life by Scott Trench. This is the book that taught me to build a financial runway before quitting my job. I was aspiring to build a business, but he has some great advice in the book about how to prepare for that. And so for years leading up to my resignation as CEO of a federal credit union, I saved and I invested and I built a financial runway so that when I took the time to build my own business, hello alarm, I could actually try to do it without the overwhelming weight of financial obligations. But here we are, the creme de la creme. If you were determined to break free from the 9 to 5, the book of inspiration for you is The 4-Hour Workweek by none other than the one and only Mr. Timothy Ferriss. There are better books out there regarding how to build a business. Every time I read this book, I feel like every cell in my body gets infused with these radioactive beams of entrepreneurial inspiration. Just for fun, I have a couple other random recommendations. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and then Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. If you're a personal finance enthusiast like I am, you'll want to add that to your reading list. If you'd like to have more content around money books, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. And hey, watch one of these. I'll catch you next time.